Let's learn the third method for finding the greatest common divisor or factor. It's called the Euclidean algorithm method. It'll be very strange and new to you, I'm sure. It was to me when I first learned it a few years ago. I'll do two examples for you. Let's find the greatest common divisor between 18,411 and 1,649. The work is on the right here. You take the larger number, 18,411, and divide it by 1649. 18,411 divide it by 1649. The answer is 11, but there's a remainder. So I need to multiply 11 times 1649. That comes up to 18,139, and subtract. What's left over is 272. Now we're on to the next step. Take that remainder and divide it into your other divisor. That sounded complicated, but you go back and watch this a few times. 1649 gets divided by the remainder, 272. It goes in 6 times, but there's a remainder. So we need to multiply 6 times 272. That will be 1,632. And when you subtract, there's 17 left over. We keep doing this till we get no remainder. So we take that remainder of 17 and divide it into 272. You always take your previous remainder and divide it into your previous divisor. 272 divided by 17 goes in 16 times. We need to multiply that, subtract it. Ooh, and it's exactly 272. There's no remainder. When there's no remainder, the answer is the last remainder you got. 17 is the greatest common divisor between those two numbers. It's actually a very fast method for finding the greatest common divisor of large numbers. Let's do another example. Let's find the greatest common divisor between 140 and 175. So we need to divide 175, the bigger number, by 140. It goes in there once. So we multiply 1 times 140, and when we subtract, the remainder is 35. Since we have a remainder, we repeat that process. We take the 35 and divide it into our previous divisor. How many times does 35 go into 140? It goes in 4 times. 4 times 35 is 140. There's no remainder. So we know our answer was the previous remainder. The greatest common divisor of 140 and 175 is 35. That's what we got earlier doing a different method, and I think it took longer. So we might like the Euclidean algorithm method for finding greatest common divisor.